So you know your North Node is in Pisces, which means your South Node is in Virgo, but not only is it apparently in Pisces, but it's also in the 8th house. And maybe if you've researched this, you learn that the 8th house is representative of Scorpio. So then you start wondering, is having the North Node in 8th house kind of similar to North Node in Scorpio? Should I be researching the North Node in Scorpio? No, it's confusing, but there is a key difference between sign and house, and knowing both of these placements in your chart is going to be very huge for what exactly your growth is and how you embrace your North Node. Having the North Node in Pisces and in 8th house changes everything about how you embrace the North Node in Pisces exactly. So in this video, I want to break down what it means to have this specific placement, the North Node in Pisces and in 8th house, as well as, of course, South Node in Virgo in 2nd house, what this all means and what exactly your path to growth is. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabelle, your spiritual rebel friend, and today I want to talk about what it means to have your North Node in Pisces and in 8th house, what the North Node in Pisces is, what the North Node in 8th house means, and what exactly this means to have them two together. Because really, everyone has, here's the thing, the North Node moves every 18 months. And so anyone within your 18-month age group is going to have a North Node in Pisces along with you. Which is like, considering it's our highest path to growth in this lifetime, does that really mean that all of your growth is the same? No. The house is what makes the North Node in Pisces tailored to you and your unique journey, which of course also implies wherever the rest of your planets are in your chart is also going to affect this. But the house is very important to understand, and not just the house standalone, but how this combines with the Pisces North Node energy. So in this video, I want to break it down, talk about the North Node in Pisces, the 8th house, North Node in Pisces, and in 8th house, as well as the South Node in Virgo in 2nd house, what this means to have this placement in your chart and what your growth is and what your purpose is. Before I dive in, be sure to hit the link in the description below to book a reading, where in 1 hour, we can dive deep into your North Node in 8th house, your South Node, your chart, how everything plays out. Because like I briefly mentioned in my intro, not only does the house that your North Node in Pisces is in dictate your unique journey, but also, of course, the rest of your chart. If, for example, you have a lot of Pisces energy, this is going to be different for you to embrace than someone who has maybe a lot of Virgo energy or Capricorn energy. Understanding your whole chart gives you the whole picture on how you embrace your highest path to growth and what exactly role your North Node plays in your life. So book a reading in the link in the description below. And if you're interested in learning to become your own astrologer, you can check out my astrology course, the Master Astrologer. I'll give you a discount code at the end of this video on how you can get 50% off. So really quick, we know, I'm sure if you're watching this, you already know all of what the North Node is. The North Node is our highest path to growth, and the South Node is our overused gifts and talents. It's also said to be our past life karma. And I am also guessing that if you're watching this video, chances are you've actually probably seen my Pisces North Node video that I did with my sister Gabby. And if you haven't seen that, you can check it out up here. I'm going to give a really exaggerated movement because I always forget to put the darn card in. Check out the video now on the Pisces North Node if you haven't watched it already. Given that I have a video on this, I'm going to be pretty brief in my description of the Pisces North Node because I really want to make this about what it means to have specifically a Pisces North Node in 8th house. But overall, those who have a Pisces North Node and a Virgo South Node are people who experience a household or have some sort of figure in their life, in early life, that was very critical. Virgo in the negative or in stress, so to say, is very hypercritical and very analytical. And so these people who have a South Node in Virgo tend to have an early life experience where they have a hypercritical parent who makes them feel very criticized. And so their overused gift and talent becomes that themselves are critical. They have an eye for detail, attention to detail, are very selfless, very service focused, and because of that, very critical on themselves or others. I've seen two different expressions of this. Either people with the South Node in Virgo become critical of themselves and focus on always being selfless in order to be safe and embrace their talent in overuse. Or on the other hand, they project this energy outward and become critical of the world around them and push everyone away and still go into that selfless service mode, but for the sake of recognition from the outside world. Regardless, the South Node in Virgo has the overused gift and talent of being analytical, detail-oriented, selfless, practical. But the thing is that while this serves them in life and gives them talent to use, they are lacking the non-linear side of things, the non-linear way of looking at things that makes things feel just easy. The North Node in Pisces counterbalances the South Node in Virgo by telling you and teaching you that you need to be more non-linear, just tune into energy, soften, be empathic, and empathetic and compassionate towards yourself and towards others. The North Node in Pisces, in the end, highest path to growth implies that you're here to do less. Virgo is all about action, all about selfless service, and Pisces does care about the collective, but seeing that how you make people feel in the end is the biggest impact you can leave, including yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So the North Node in Pisces path to growth is all about softening, learning to be compassionate, learning to be empathetic. But the way to do this is by tuning in to your own energy and getting in touch with yourself and getting in touch usually with nature. These people tend to live very critical, practical lives that are full of tasks and routines and schedules. And in a way, their growth is to do less. I'm pretty sure I've said this in many videos before, but that is a quote from a movie called Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where he's learning to surf and he says, do less, do less. And that is really the Pisces North Node's path to growth. If you know a movie I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below, or let me know if I just sound crazy. But the North Node in Pisces, in the end, is about softening, doing less, being compassionate to the self and to others. Unconditional love rather than conditional love. Now, how does the 8th house play into this? The 8th house, 2nd house axis revolves around ownership in the end and values. And I feel like there's an even better word I can use for that. I'm completely blanking on the word that I'm looking for. So to quickly go over the 8th house, 2nd house, and then apply it to what it means to have it in Virgo and in Pisces. The 8th house, 2nd house axis is representatives of Scorpio and Taurus. Taurus created the 2nd house. Scorpio created the 8th house. And so if you understand the zodiac signs well, this information can help. But oftentimes what I notice is people overthink it, including me. I've done this before when learning about it. The point is the 2nd house and 8th house are basically, if Taurus and Scorpio had to create a home, quite literally, that represents what they value, this is what they created. The 2nd house is the house of wealth and worth. It represents our finances, our financial security, our physical ownership, and also our self-worth. It is all about self-sufficiency. The 8th house is built by Scorpio, and it is the house of codependency. So you can see how there's this dynamic between basically finding value in ourselves and being our own security, and then finding security in other people. The 8th house is the house of codependency, intimacy, sexuality, shared finances, shared ownership. And so it represents, simply put, intimacy. So if you're going to associate one word, I would say for each of these, 8th house, intimacy, and 2nd house is worth, self-worth, which I guess is technically 2 words, but 1 phrase. So that is what those 2 houses are about. The 2nd house is where we find security in ourselves. We don't need anyone. And the 8th house is where we lean into other people, be intimate with other people, trust other people. Both are necessary. So what does it mean to have your North Node in Pisces in the 8th house of intimacy and the South Node in Virgo in the 2nd house of self-worth? How this really plays out, I feel like it's very interesting, I guess is the word, how this plays out, because like I said, the 8th house is a house of Scorpio, which is a water sign. Pisces is a water sign. Taurus is an earth sign. Virgo is an earth sign. So it really just amplifies this materialistic and emotional energy for these people's journey. The South Node in Virgo in 2nd house tends to be someone who believes and learns early on that they need to be self-sufficient and yet selfless in order to be enough. They, from an early age, are taught that they need to be self-sufficient and just not need anyone and be financially secure and not rely on anyone. There's definitely an energy of self-sufficiency here, but with this being tied with Virgo, these people tend to think that they should just be selfless and then therefore get the financial security they need from early age. Generally, anyone with a South Node in 2nd house has a focus in early life on becoming self-sufficient, especially financially. I tend to see that these people try to move out as soon as possible, live on their own. Maybe their financial life also is very supported because of this. It tends to be a theme here. But with the South Node in Virgo and in second house, these people learn from early age that they can get the independence and self-sufficiency they need that in order to survive by being selfless or hypercritical. They tend to be hypercritical of themselves or others and push people away, basically. The North Node in Pisces in 8th house implies that your growth is to move towards intimate relationships, which I feel like for anyone who just learned that they already have a North Node in Pisces and have to soften is already annoying enough. But to do this in intimate relationships is going to be a huge barf. People with a North Node in Pisces, without knowing the sign it's in, the house it's in, can tend to move towards being empathetic, and they do this by isolating themselves. They do this by getting in touch with nature, which is good, but your highest growth is to learn to do this in your relationships. You naturally tend to be critical and self-sufficient. You rely on yourself, push people away, and speak in matters of practicality and analysis. But your growth is to focus on how do I make other people feel. The Pisces North Node in 8th house really is a journey around extreme vulnerability and intimacy. Like I said, that's the number one word associated with 8th house in my interpretation personally. And so when your North Node is in Pisces, the empathic sign of Pisces, all about moving with emotions and being unconditional love, it's in the 8th house. You have to learn to be this energy of Pisces in your intimate relationships. So I invite these people highly to think about what their tendency already is in their intimate relationships. When you start to share that space with someone emotionally and financially, how do you tend to be? You probably tend to push away and be more Virgo, be more critical, try to keep things separate. Probably the idea of trusting others is very, very hard, as it is for any North Node in Pisces or North Node in 8th house. When this is combined, these people have to learn to think about how can I step into feelings of love and trust in my intimate relationships. Usually for these people, what I notice is that they need to learn to take things with a grain of salt, because here's the thing, Pisces is unconditional love. But the only way Pisces is unconditional love is because they see what I like to just simply phrase as the 5-dimensional world. They see how everything in the end at its source is vibration, and they can just be an expression of that. Wow, that was like a sneeze coming on there. I'm probably gonna have to cut that out and re-say that. So really, the reason Pisces can be this unconditional love is because they see how everything is vibration. They can see how in the end, the root of everything is just love, and that they are one with everything. Pisces represents the end of a journey, the culmination where we see that everything is connected. And so really, I think that anyone who has a Pisces North Node in 8th house has a journey around seeing the bigger picture and disconnecting from their personal ego in order to attain and maintain this intimacy and closeness with another person. So really it is a very spiritual journey. I think that is something that a Pisces North Node has to face regardless of whatever their religious beliefs are. There is a realm of connecting with the world, connecting with source, connecting with vibration in order to create intimate connection with other people. In the end, the North Node in Pisces and in 8th house's growth is to learn to be unconditional love in their relationships and share with other people. Yes, you have a gift for practicality, analysis, and self-sufficiency that serves you and is not to be let go of, but you're also here to learn how to emotionally share space with people and of course trust other people, which may require sharing finances. But in the end, with this being in Pisces, this is an emotional sign. This is a water sign. And so this is mainly about your emotional journey, learning to emotionally share with other people. So what is the critic? In the end, before I go into those prompts, in the end, this does require a lot of self-reflection. When you have a water sign, North Node, I think this is a lot of reflection someone has to do, or if they have a North Node in 12th house. But I invite you to ask yourself these questions. Wow, words are getting really hard in this video. I invite you to ask yourself, if you have this placement, in order to step into your North Node, what is the critic that gets in your way, that pops up, that keeps you from being able to just be vulnerable and sensitive and share the wounds that may be present? What is the stories you tell yourself about expressing yourself meticulously, being impeccable with your word, that keep you from just being the messy, imperfect version of yourself that in the end is truly love? What do you think your identity is outside of what you serve or who you serve? What if you are nothing but love? What if intimacy didn't have to be scary because in the end you don't have to see it as a personal attack or a personal threat? Really, the North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo does imply this softening that happens through detachment from the personal story. That is what I've really noticed for these people, because you have to learn to see life not so materialistically. South Node in Virgo is an earth sign. And so seeing things as less material and more as vibration is really so much of the North Node in Pisces journey. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. And so I really encourage these people to learn as much as they can about Pisces. The more that you do just deep discovery and keep it as focused on emotion as possible in personal interpretation, the better. Because the South Node in Virgo wants to step in and make things analytical. How much can you feel and how can you bring this into your intimate relationships? Really, the more emotion you can share, the more personal experience, personal thought, personal feeling in intimate relationships, the more you're in your growth. This is about vulnerability, and there's a value to be gained through vulnerability. And of course, this is also not just about stepping into your own emotional experience and sharing your own feelings, which can be domineering in love, but learning to listen to other people. Like I said, I think early on in this video, it's in the end, it's realizing your North Node is about realizing it's not what you do for other people, it's how you make them feel. And this is a huge journey for the North Node in 8th house. How can you make your partner feel? Not how can you serve them, how are you making them feel? Hopefully this gave you guys a good interpretation on what it means to exactly have your North Node in 8th house and in Pisces. Thank you to the person who commented this and let me know that they were hoping for a video on this. Let me know if this cleared up and gave you some clarity on what it means to have this combination. I know you also mentioned that you wanted a video, I believe, on part of fortune in Aries and in 9th house. That video will be coming pretty soon. Stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on those post notifications. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did I miss about the North Node in Pisces and in 8th house? What's your personal experience with this? Is this accurate? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, you can book a reading if you want to dive deeper into your chart, because like I said, all of your chart changes how you embrace your North Node, what your struggles are going to be, how this is going to play out for you. And of course, personal transits are going to affect as well. Where the sun is, if you have in Pisces season, this is going to be accentuated. Saturn in Pisces right now, retrograde, has probably affected you a lot with this. You've probably had to reassess a lot with this, probably take more responsibility for your actions in your relationships. This is all affecting you. So book a reading and the link in the description below. And if you want to learn how to make your own interpretations like this, if you want to learn how to interpret astrologies for yourself so that it can just come easy and you're not relying on an astrologer to give you all the data, then I invite you to check out my astrology course, the Master Astrologer, in the link in the description below, where I teach you everything I've learned about astrology just in a clear, cohesive form. We go through the signs, then the houses, then the planets, how to read a chart. We go through everything in a clear, systemized, simple way. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to learn to be your own astrologer, check it out in the link in the description below. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you want to get half off, 50% off this course, comment the words Master Astrologer in all caps, and I will send you the information on how you can get 50% off easy and fast. Link is in the description below to learn more information. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name is Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.